Avoider Part 3. Well, as far as I can tell, we're almost finished, like we almost have the whole game, except for two features: collision detection and making things change direction every 500 points, yeah. So let's start with the collision detection. That should be easy. I will need the loop that loops the baddies. Let's just copy paste it because we want to check collision between the player and any baddie type or baddie entity. So we'll loop all the baddies in the baddie array, and let's get their ID. So we'll have something shorter to write. The ID is the sprite's ID. So now it will be easier when we need the ID. It will be easier, writing this instead of all of this. So let's see if it gets by collision. Let's say we wrote it already, then game over is 1. Okay, now let's fill the argument here. Collision between BID, the current baddie, and the player sprite. And that's it. That's the collision detection. Let's see if it works. Yep, works. And to do the thing that makes them change direction, we'll need to do it in the movement here. After we do the regular movement, we'll check modulus 500 and the points the points modulus is a math operation. Basically it checks for the remainder. If the remainder with the points is 1, points is 500, then points modulus 500 will be 1. Let's see. So in AppGameKit, that's how you write modulus. It doesn't have an operator, it has a function. So modulus points 500 equals 0. Oh, so it's 0. I really don't, as I said, I don't have any math degree, or I was bad at math at school too. I had to relearn it for game programming. So basically modulus returns the remainder between those two numbers. So if it's 0, it means like let's say 500, the remainder will be 0. Let's have a look at it. So when points reaches 500, then the remainder, the modulus operation should be 0, and then in 1000 and in 1500, etc, etc. That's like, let's say you have something you want to do every time something can be divided by 10, like HP. Every HP that goes, let's say points is better. Let's say you have points that go up, so every 10 points you get, you want something to happen, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, something happens. 20, something happens. 30, so you do points and 10 equals 0. Okay. That's the easiest way to do it, instead of doing like if points is bigger than 500 and then if points is bigger than 1000, etc, etc. So now we'll need to copy the code that determines the entity's direction, these 4 lines. Usually I would turn this into a function, but I feel lazy, so I'll just copy paste it. The better practice is to make this into a function that gets a baddie and returns it and changes its dirx and dry using these 4 lines, but I'll just copy paste it. Let's yeah, now that it's in order, let's see. So yeah, this won't do. We'll have to replace it with the current baddie, this thing. This is actually a reference to the location of the current baddie in the memory. An array keeps the reference of the data. So yeah, that's good for us. So we'll have to do it like that. I can't put it like in something like PID and or B. I have to use a reference because that's the only way to do that in AppGameKit. So this should do it. You know what, let's make it go crazy every 50 points. Just so you'll see it works. You see? Goes crazy. Every 50 points it changes directions. That makes it much more challenging. Yeah, this one's stopped because their dirx and y were 0. So if you multiply the dirx of 0 and the y of 0 by speed, it will be 0 plus the x and y. Yeah, doesn't move. I think that's it. That's everything I wanted to teach you. Let's see if it works. We'll wait for it to reach 500 and avoid getting hit. Let's see. Any time now. Did it change directions? Let's wait for the 1000 points and see. Yeah, changes direction. Whoa. Yeah, so I couldn't made it over 6000 points. I don't know why it gets really hard. You can make the game more interesting by adding a coin you can collect to get more points and power-ups, like stuff that repulse the baddies and stuff like that. But yeah, adding it to this procedural code will be, well, for me at least, will be a drag. I would rather do it with my framework. I'll convert this to my framework, so you'll have the option to, learn how to do this with my framework, and I'll make a video showcasing it, the port to my framework. And yeah, that's kind of it. If you have any questions, you can contact me via the YouTube comments, my contact form, the AppGameKit forum. Oh, yeah, let's lose. Bam. That's it for this lesson.